125 million people continue to be exposed to asbestos in the workplace.
So there's a big cost to humans using asbestos in dollars and lives.
Research that goes into these decisions has to be directed by independent, unconflicted scientists.
It's not something that just affects workers, it affects everyone.
Saving one life is great, but saving many more is what I hope to accomplish.
Making a profit off of people's pain and lives is wrong.
We can't quit, not as long as there are hundreds of thousands of people still to be diagnosed.
Ban the asbestos once and for all.
Our next filmmaker is Zack Johnson. Zack.
Hello. Daniel, your film came out in 2018, correct? You premiered your film in 2018? And we should have collaborated because we came out with ours in the same year. We could have taken our time a little bit more, spaced out the work. But anyway, I'm Zack Johnson. I'm one of the filmmakers behind the feature documentary, Dirty Laundry. And I made this, oh, not yet. Hold on, we're getting antsy. I want to eat too, I get it. I made this film with my cousin Conor. He could not be here with me today, which is very unfortunate. Conor, if you're watching, I love you, wish you were here, man. But anyway, let me get to it. In 2012, our grandmother died of mesothelioma. Well, she was diagnosed and died from mesothelioma in 2012. And it wasn't until 2016 that Conor and I kind of realized how big of a deal her death actually was. And so Dirty Laundry tells her story. And I'll give a little bit of background information to our family. Our family is very American in its roots, blue collar in its nature. Hardworking, determined, and we're all just trying to make a better life for the generation after us. And our grandparents are an excellent example of that. So our grandfather worked at an oil refinery that was no more than a half mile from his house. He worked there for 20 years as a laborer and a pipe insulator. He worked there for 20 years until he retired. And like, you can take all the pictures from Tim's presentation, and that's what my grandpa dealt with. So every day for 20 years, he went to work at the refinery, and every day he came home, he peeled off his bib overalls at the door, and Grandma grabbed him, took him down to the laundry room, shook him out, did the laundry. And it wasn't until many years later, like we said, that we really connected her daily routine to asbestos and really exposed that dirty laundry. See what I did there? Okay. Thank you. So this led us to start asking questions, and the preliminary answers we got were like, something needs to be done about this, for sure. And we saw a need, and over a hot pot of coffee in the morning, we got some crazy ideas going, and for some reason we thought it'd be a good idea to ride bicycles across the country and interview a bunch of folks and make a documentary about it, even though we hadn't done either of those things ever. So we naively, 3 months after we came up with the idea, we naively set out across the country by bicycle and interviewed a bunch of people who were similarly affected, medical professionals, advocates, many of whom are in this room. I'd love to point you out, but we're crunching on time. Once again, I love you, and I do want a group picture at some point, so don't leave me. So Dirty Laundry tells my grandma's story, these people's story, and as well as the story of two dumb 20-somethings finding out about asbestos. So in the past year, we've taken this film all across the country in film festivals, collegiate showings, and whatnot. And afterwards, there's typically a Q&A session, and we always get the same questions immediately. It's like, man, how hard was that bike trip? What was that like? How hard was it waking up every day? Did you ever want to quit? These are really easy questions to ask, and it's because it's the fun part of the movie. But then we get down to the nitty gritty, and there's always somebody who asks, why did you make Dirty Laundry? Why did you want to do something like that? And it's a pretty open-ended question, but really we always found the answer pretty simple. And the answer to that is the reason why a lot of you, or all of you, are here today. We saw a need in the world, and we decided to try and fill it. We saw a need, and we thought that we had some sort of ability to make an attempt to fill that. And so, where am I at on my notes? We decided to fill it. And so the majority of us here, and even watching online, know about asbestos. And so we made this film for those two guys from about 4 years ago who didn't know anything about asbestos problem. We made it for young home renovators who are busting into walls like Chip and Joanna Gaines, not thinking anything of it. We made it for people who think asbestos is a problem of the past and banned. And finally, we made it to honor our grandmother and all of those that we've lost. So if you really boil it down, Dirty Laundry, let's see where we're at here. If you boil it down, Dirty Laundry is just a documentary about two young guys going on a bike trip not knowing what they're gonna find. And at the end, you'll probably leave with more questions than answers. But that's really what we wanted to do. We believe that Dirty Laundry is an entertaining and emotionally involving documentary that gives people kind of a cursory knowledge of the problem of asbestos in America. And like David said earlier, make it human. So we wanted to put a face to the problem of asbestos. And we hope we were able to do that. If you want to help our efforts and spread awareness and prevention, you can do it by going online and watching. You can recommend it to friends. You can follow us online at Asbestos Movie on all platforms. Retweet, like, share, rate it, give us a review after you watch it, because that's how we're gonna really spread this thing out there and get it to the people who don't know. Oh, I do need to go back because there's a promo code for everybody online. I don't know if you saw it. If you're watching online, you get it for rent or download for 25% off using ADAO 25. Yes, right after this final word. And then everybody here, find me. I've got a card for an even better deal for you. I've given it to a bunch of you, but don't leave without that. And we're gonna play the trailer for Dirty Laundry. Thank you.
Smart woman, she's putting a new floor down by herself. Wise woman, she's using Kentile vinyl asbestos tile.
And science also created asbestos cement roofing, which has made buildings safer and more durable. Actually stone, it is made up of tiny but extremely strong and flexible fibers.
In October of 2012, my grandmother died of mesothelioma, a cancer caused by asbestos. 4 years later, my cousin and I set off across the country by bicycle to find some answers.
Asbestos is a mineral.
They've already dug it up. Oh my gosh.
You find it either by itself in the outdoors or within rocks as a contaminant.
If I were to open this, shake it all over, I would expose all of us.
And these fibers start out maybe larger, but they can split until they become needle-like.
I can remember just the particles shimmering in the rays of sunlight floating through the air.
As these narrow fibers, we can inhale them into our lung, and that's where the problem is.
People can draw a direct line from where they worked or lived to an exposure that was caused by a company.
Hair dryers, ceiling tiles, skyscrapers, ships, spaceships, brake lines. Thousands of asbestos workers and their families are sick.
And did these companies know that this stuff they were sending all over the country was contaminated?
Oh yeah, they knew all about it, so yeah.
The doctor was like, "You have cancer." I mean, the first words out of his mouth were, "You have cancer."
Alan's surgeon comes out and says, "I think Alan has mesothelioma." I couldn't pronounce it. I couldn't spell it. I had never heard of it.
I felt like someone had decided I was dispensable. I felt disposable so someone else could make a profit.
It's terrible watching someone just kind of suffocate, just quit breathing. That's just an awful thing.
All those files, those are just
Deceased people that have been diagnosed with an asbestos-related disease and have been killed from it.
This largest dot is over 2,000 shipments, and of course there's one right where we are now.
Doctors are hired out, and science does not move forward right with asbestos because of that.
It's just a different kind of mourning and a different kind of experience, and there were times where it seemed unbelievable.
How you feeling? Good. About 22 miles in. I feel like I could ride like 4,000 more. 4,400 more?
I don't know how to fix the law and the politics and the business and the medicine.
It's just another mountain.
But what I can do is be inspired by you and be inspired by all the people we met and take their example.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you all for coming. Thank you for making a difference. Thank you for filling that need. Linda, thank you for filling that need specifically and making all this happen. Your tenacity is, oh my gosh, admirable. And let's keep going. How about it?
Good.